Brother Nashi, please, man, just read my story. Please read this. Tell your followers, even tell the kids on TikTok. Tell anyone who is chasing the soft life to stop and think about some of the things that happen behind the scenes. You might think that being a ritualist is a nice thing. I know when you are poor, if someone tells you not to do Ukutwala rituals, you will say that this one, he does not want us to enjoy the soft life. Do you know that you might be unlucky, and then when you do these money rituals, you are told that you are not supposed to walk with shoes? Can you imagine? All of your life you won't walk wearing shoes. Can you go to the mall without wearing any shoes? It means that you can't go and enjoy. And when people that are poor think about doing money rituals, they think of their favorite places that they want to go to. Now imagine you have a theology that tells you that you can't be walking around wearing shoes. I do not want you to do that. It means that you can't go to a club. You can't go to the mall. You can only have people working for you, going and buying some of the clothes that you can't even wear anyway. You might be having money, but you are not allowed to use your money the way that you want. I have friends that are crying, friends that do money rituals, but they can't sleep with the women that they did money rituals to please so that they can sleep with them, but they are told that no, you can't sleep with that woman, you have to sleep with a mad woman. The choice is given to them by the theology, and the theology can choose even an old woman and say that this is the one that I want to sleep with. You can imagine being rich, you have these nice honeys that want you to sleep with them, but you can't do that because you are forbidden to sleep with these beautiful women that are always around you. So it's like a lottery. You do not know whether you are going to win or you are not going to win. But I know that when you have a poor man's mindset, you'll say, no, it's fine, let me just test it. I dare you, go to a traditional healer and try to do the rituals. You'll come here crying. This one I know. Sometimes I can even sleep on the floor, even though I have a big bed, crying like a little child. There are days when I can't even sleep for the whole week, for the whole month. I just sit watching dead people walking around in my house. Times when I close my eyes and then I see myself being grabbed by those same dead people that will be walking in my house, and they throw me into a coffin and they throw me into a grave and they start to bury me alive. This will happen when I am alive and I suffocate to death. Then I wake up and it happens. So in order for this nightmare to not happen, I make sure that when the sun is going down, I sleep a little bit and then I wake up, and I make sure that until the next morning I do not sleep, because once I sleep, that nightmare will come to grab me. You might be looking at me at a club enjoying bronash. You might see me enjoying my money as if 50k, even on a single table, it is just small change from a car wash. But you do not know the pain that some of us, we have to go through. There are people who say that I am a blessed young man who came from his parents' house, who only had a 3-bedroom house in Soweto, and they said that God is truly there. God truly blessed that boy, but God has nothing to do with this life. This is not a blessing. The things that are happening in my life, it is a curse. I am like renting to the devil, and the devil, he owns everything, my soul, my breath. It started many years ago. I went to an elite boarding school, and when I was there, I felt as if I did not belong, because my parents, they would just try so that their son can have a little bit of a good education. My father, he believed that if your son goes to an elite school, later on in life it would assist him. Yes, it is true. If you go to an elite school after university, you can get a job much quicker than someone that went to a government school, because at these elite schools you become friends with people whose fathers, they own several companies, and it is a matter of your friend just telling his father that you are looking for a job. So this was the belief that my dad had. So going to that school, brother, I knew that I did not belong there. My parents, they were suffering, and there were people there that used to bully me because I did not have a lot of money. If I would have been taken to a normal private school, I think that I could have blended in normally, but I was at a school where we were with cheese boys, sons of political people that were rich, and it was me and 3 other guys. We were the ones that were poor. We did not have so much money. So we thought that we could navigate school and we could end up becoming rich. We became friends with this other Nigerian student who came and started studying at the same school that I was studying. His father, he was someone that had money. At the time, I did not know what kind of a business that he was doing. All that I knew was that his dad used to give him a lot of money. And as for our Nigerian friend, he was someone that liked to show off that he had money. He always had money in his locker, and we would even steal the money from him. And we would go around with him in his father's cars. One night, we were on holiday. His parents, they had gone to Dubai. He was staying in an estate, and he told us that he was going to do a secret house party at their house, I'll say in Bryanston. We went there, brother. It was so amazing. He showed us some of the vintage whiskey bottles that his dad owned, and we were drinking alcohol that were so expensive. I can say that maybe by 3 a.m. we were totally wasted, like really wasted. And we had grabbed some of the chicks that were beautiful from our location that were also drinking as heavily as we were doing. When we had finished sleeping with our girlfriends, when they were passed out, then he took us to his father's private library. This he did when we were totally drunk, but I remembered it in the morning. When I drink, I don't forget. Like when I wake up, I can start to remember the things that you would have said, the things that we would have done. He took us to his father's private library, which was upstairs, and he started laughing. He said, "You guys, you think your dads are rich than my dad." He said, "My dad is very rich. He has another room where he keeps his mother. In that room, that is where his mother is right now. Do you want to see my grandmother?" He said as he was laughing. We were drunk, and he took us to this other room. When we got in there, we expected to see a Nigerian old woman. No, we did not see a woman. But we did not see a woman. We saw a snake. Brother, this snake, he told us that it vomited money every night. We said, "You think that we are from Nigeria? We are not from Lagos. How can a snake vomit money?" We laughed it off as a joke. So, him being drunk, he wanted to prove a point to us. He led us into his father's hidden safe. We went there, Brother Nashi. That was when we saw money. You know, this money that he showed to us, it was in a mess. It was all over the place. You cannot say that this is money that someone has earned as a salary or he has taken it from the business, because it was as if someone had taken the money and he had dumped it into that room. When he said that, "I want to show you my father's safe," we thought that it was those metallic safe boxes. It was a room that had a mountain of money that was all over the floor. And he said, "Can you see? This money has been vomited by my father's snake." That was when I started to say, wait a minute, maybe this thing that he is telling us, maybe it is the truth. The next day, I then asked my friends if they still remembered some of the things that had happened the previous night, and they said no, they could not remember anything. That was when I told them about the cash, and I said, gents, I saw a lot of money that was in that room. I showed them the room, but when our friend was busy accompanying his girlfriend to her place because he drove out of the estate and he left us at his parents' house, we tried to open the door because inside we just thought that this money, it was there because the father, maybe he was involved in some of illegal things. And I told my friends that the money that I saw in there, even if we steal a bag of cash, the dad will never be able to know how much it was. But we did not know that the truth that our friend had told us the previous night when he was drunk, it was the real truth. So we did not even know what this money came from. Later on, when we were still at my friend's house, that was when I confronted him. I reminded him about the things that he had told us the previous night. They tried to downplay it and say that, no, I did not say such a thing. We then threatened him, and then we said we are going to tell the headmaster or the Hawks that your dad is involved in some illegal stuff. He's going to spend the rest of his life in a prison. You're going to be deported to Nigeria. The guy then said to us, he wanted us not to tell anyone, but he said, do you know that the snake that I showed you, it is not a pet, it vomits money. If you try to enter into this world, you are going to suffer. You can't just join it like a club. This snake, it is a generational family contract. He told us this, but we said, either you show us how, otherwise we are going to blow the whole story tonight. He realized that we were trapping him and we wanted the money. He said that he could not give us his father's contact, but he was going to speak with his father. And we told him that we wanted him to speak to his father as quickly as possible. Brother, the things that we were playing with, we did not even know. One day, he told us that his dad was calling us at their house. When we went there, we were surprised because there were a lot of Nigerians that seemed to be waiting for us. The moment that we arrived, they forced us to go to the graveyard. We went to a graveyard in East Rand with Nigerians. We were the only 3 South Africans that were there. Everyone else was a Nigerian. We drove to the graveyard. It was at 1 a.m. Brother Nashim, I had never been at a graveyard so late at night. It was so scary for me. I was even afraid that maybe these people, they wanted to murder us. And my friends, they were even crying. They were blaming me for the mess now that we had found ourselves in. They were saying that if it was not you, we could not have come here with this Nigerian. We went to this other part of the graveyard where they took us to this other grave, and then we were told to sleep on top of a grave. You know that this grave, it was written that the person that died on that grave died in the 1940s. We were told to sleep on top of that grave. We slept, and then they started to pour something on us as well as alcohol that they poured on our body whilst we were sleeping on the grave one by one. And after that was done, we were told that since we were still too young, we could not go to Nigeria on our own, but we were supposed to do things that could help us to get money so that we can bring the person that was going to assist us all the way from Nigeria. And when they told us about this, we asked them how exactly were we going to get this money, because we were still school kids. We could not get employment and then you work and you will be able to hire the Nigerian to come and he can be able to assist you. They said that they were going to discuss about it, and they would find ways in order for us to be able to hire the Nigerian priest who was supposed to come and to give us the money that we needed. We did not know that this money, when it is given to you, you are not given the money like, here is a bag of cash. You are given sort of like a tokoloshi that you are supposed to use until you have the money that you say, this is where I end, this is the money that I want. And they did not even tell us about some of the sacrifices that you have to constantly do. They just told us about the money. Fast forward, Brother Nashim, we would be taken to different clubs. I don't know if you are supposed to read about this. We were still underage, but they would make us to sleep with elderly women, those that were also in an occult group. And this group of women, they only sleep with guys that are 16 and below. And they still do this to this very day. It was something that was not nice, because we were still young, and here we were being forced to do an orgy with elderly women until we had raised enough money so that we can bring that Nigerian man who came and he made us to join. We were told that we were the youngest ones to ever join such a club of old men from Nigeria, and we were supposed to be happy. By the time that we understood that we were deep into Satanism, we were told that there was no more coming back. We were supposed to make our sacrifices. Amongst them, 3 people that I had written, my mother, my father, and my big sister. I was supposed to choose one. I ended up choosing my sister because I said I can't choose my parents. It is better that I choose my sister. She died. I only got to find out that my sister, she was pregnant after she had been sacrificed, because I started to have a dream and I saw that my sister, she was pregnant by the time that I sacrificed her. We were told to buy a coffin. Each and everyone had to buy a coffin. And then we were taken to a mountain in the bushes where we left these coffins for each and every relative that you wanted to sacrifice in the future. You had to write the name of that relative on a piece of paper, and then they cut you on your finger and you drop your blood and you say that I have signed this contract. May the spirit of death locate you and the God of wealth locate me in return so that he can give me money. Brother, we did this. We were 16-year-old and we were making money. This money that we were making, even my mother, one day, she even said that if I would get arrested, she would not visit me in prison because I stopped going to school. I was living as if I was a drug lord. I was always around Nigerians. Some of them who told me that it is a good thing that people believe that every Nigerian in South Africa sells drug. It is easy to hide your ritual money. Even if your neighbors see that you don't go to work, you are always at home. It is a nice thing because deep down, you know where your money is coming from, and everyone just has this thinking that Nigerians, they are the ones that sell drugs. So he was like, you also need to have that vibe that people will think that maybe you are dealing with drugs. Brother, death started to happen in the family. After my sister, the sacrifices, they kept on happening till this very day. The last nail in the coffin was when my girlfriend, who was pregnant, I don't know why the devil became so cruel towards me. At least he should have prevented my girlfriend from ever falling pregnant, but the devil waited until my girlfriend was 8 months pregnant. She was carrying 2 beautiful boys, and then she had a terrible miscarriage, a stillborn birth, and they told her that the womb had to be removed because of the damage that had happened. It was going to cause an infection later on. I paid for everything, and after that I had to dump her. Where can I take a woman that does not have a womb? So I dumped her, even though I loved her with all of my heart. To this day, I am not a man who is at peace with himself. I keep on blaming myself for the things that I did when I was young, for not being able to appreciate my parents, even though they were not rich, but they managed to take me to an expensive school because they wanted me to become something. And my mom, she used to say that you are my only hope. I want you to succeed in life so that you can assist everyone in the family, including your own brother's kids. She wanted me to assist them later on in life, but I was chasing money and a good life. I was not even studying properly in life. Even my friends, when they started sacrificing their own relatives, they would always blame me for the things that they were supposed to do, because they said that it was you who caused us to make these sacrifices. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our DM brother. Let us speak with our dear brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. I'll be back with another episode. Yo.